Hey y'all, Jim here with Sunrise Farm. Thanks so much for stopping by today. In today's video, we're going to talk about the greenhouses, the update. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know I went from one little greenhouse to two greenhouses, and here we are on a kind of a cool early April morning, and it has just been nothing but non-stop work for my family and I. So much so, I owe a quick apology to my subscribers. I have not slowed down in about a month to make a video. I am very, very sorry for that. I will work very hard not to let that happen again. But at any rate, I also mentioned in some of my previous videos that I do plant sales. Well, this year, as you can see behind me, I have this tent set up, and we are literally doing an on-farm plant tent sale. It has been going fabulous. We've been doing it every Saturday for a few weeks, and we've also been doing it at a farmer's market somewhat locally to us. And then during the week also, we just open up for various hours, and it has been going great. But that's also added to the busyness. So, but my purpose of this video today is I will show you the kind of plants. Of course, you can see them behind me. But kind of was to update you on the greenhouses. Obviously, I've moved a lot of plants in and out of those greenhouses, clearly. But let me just show you a little bit what's been going on with us here on the farm as far as the greenhouses go and the plant sales and stuff like that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. So we'll kind of sort of start right here at the beginning. This is kind of what our setup looks like. We have an additional tent over there. My wife and her sister and our niece, we also set up together. They sell kind of various chicken and pork meat, and then some baked goods too, but you can also see some plants behind them. So down here we have some tumbling tom cherry tomatoes in grow bags, along with some zinnia flowers and some marigold flowers. Then we have some of the tumbling toms in hanging baskets as well, trying those out this year. Then we just have more of the same down here. We also have some basil in some grow bags. Those have been popular. And then up under our tent, we kind of sort of have it separated somewhat to 7 varieties of peppers, a handful of varieties, I think 5 varieties of tomatoes. Then we got our various squashes, like that one, spaghetti squash, and we got some butternut squash, cucumbers, zucchini, patty pan, all the various squashes, a little bit of romaine lettuce left. Basil, oh my goodness, I did not realize how popular basil would be. That is our second up potting, meaning we've had to start multiple trays of basil because it's sold so rapidly. I was blown away at the popularity of basil. Won't make that miscalculation again. And here's something I'm trying this year, purple basil. It's been pretty popular. I must admit, I wasn't sure what to expect. It actually came as kind of a thank you about a seed order I did. They sent a little trial package of purple basil, and it's slightly different than your standard Italian basil. It's a little milder, I think. Maybe even slightly more bitter. But at any rate, it's been pretty popular. Again, you can just see all the peppers and some parsley and some various herbs we have. And clearly see we got all kind of tomatoes, and some not looking so great, but tomatoes are one of those very versatile plants, very resilient plants. They'll come back if you just give them the right nutrients and means to do so. So I'm confident. More trays of leftover, I wouldn't say leftover, of peppers that don't fit over there. They're over here, and some other not so good looking Cherokee purple tomatoes, but again, I'm pretty certain these are lacking nutrients. So they haven't died, so I'm pretty sure it's just lack of nutrients. Over there, some more tomatoes. Believe it or not, I'm showing you all these tomatoes, which is I think we got about 600 tomatoes in all, somewhere between 600 and 1,000, but we planted some already, some cherries. But my son-in-law is going to be coming over, so within about a week or so, believe it or not, all of these will actually be planted. He's got a small landscaping company, and his crew's going to come over. So here are the greenhouses. As you can see, I have them set up long ways to where I can walk from one straight into the other with about a 3-foot gap in between. They're full now, but they were a lot more full. I mean, I had them stacked and packed in here, bottom shelves and everything. Over here, you can see I have 2 different varieties of okra. I have jambalaya and what is common for us here in the South, Clemson spineless. Those, about 2,000 plants worth in all, and those 2 will be planted at the same time and within a week or so. So there's gonna be a lot happening over the next 7 to 10 days here on our farm. Some of them, well, some of them aren't the greatest grow out trays I've ever done. But when you're doing when you're doing 10,000 or so plants, you're bound to not have a 100% success rate. Some giant jalapenos down there that we're going to be planting. Now see, I do a lot of my water, also fertilizer, in a bottom tray. If I learned anything though, I have 2, but if I learned anything though, I need more bottom trays, because I can mix up a 5-gallon bucket with my organic fertilizer and then dump 1 in each tray, and then bottom water, as you can see those right there. In fact, they're ready to come out. I'll take them out in a minute. Needed to give those squash grow outs a little bit of help there. They're yellowing out a little bit from lack of nutrients, which is the one problem between that and having to water a lot in grow out trays. Grow out trays are quick to dry, and they're also lackluster in nutrients if you don't help them. So when you see that yellowing like that, quite frankly, that's a nutrient problem, and I just haven't caught up to it yet. That tray I'm probably not actually even going to be using. But so in some ways, I'm showing you both my successes and my failures in here. We went through so many tomato plants, even when I thought I calculated enough to sell and to plant, apparently I did not. So we're having to start extras, like this whole tray of Cherokee purple and I think, what is it? Old German. So a couple of heirloom tomatoes right there. Having to play catch up, and that's all right. It'll just give me almost a succession planting of them, if you will. Got some cilantro down there. I just up potted, so it's going to take a few days for it to catch on. That's one thing I guess I should mention. If you do grow out trays like this, and then you either transplant or you up pot for plant sales, or just because of time, you have to give it more time to grow, then you have to expect a little bit of delay for your new plant in its new environment to take hold. Obviously not everyone will, but you have to give them time. Don't just get discouraged if you up pot a plant and the next day it doesn't look like it should. A lot of plants are resilient, and they will bounce back if you just give them the proper conditions and time. So here's a whole bunch of celery I just up potted about 2 days ago. It hasn't exactly taken hold yet, but it's also not looking bad either. And as you can see, maybe with these tables here, I ended up switching when I got to this second greenhouse. Instead of the materials I had on site that I was using, I decided to go ahead and invest just a little bit. So these tables are made out of treated 2x4s. As you can see, I have weed barrier underneath my entire greenhouse, so no weeds are going to get up in my greenhouse. But then if you can see those slatted panels, those slatted panels are literally made as tops for these types of tables when you make them yourselves. They are indeed plant tops or tabletops for plants. And I got them from Greenhouse Megastore. Now, I will confess they aren't the cheapest thing in the world, but man, easy to work with, and they absolutely make a difference as far as just being able to slide trays off and on, and giving the air and water a place to go and deal with. And then there's some more tomato plants over here. These are a bunch of old Germans that are going to go in the ground. Some burpy big boys and some nutrient deficient cherry tomatoes that I'll plant in the ground, and they'll catch up. Trust me, if you haven't killed a plant, you kind of sort of know, you'll learn that a plant may not look great, but if it's not dead, especially like a tomato, you plant it a little deeper, it'll gain more roots. It'll come back, just give it the right time and condition again. But as you can see with that weed barrier, that back there is where my plants go to die when they're no good. But when you see this here, you have the weed barrier. If you ever put down a little greenhouse like this, these are two 10 by 20 greenhouses from Vevor.com, V-E-V-O-R. But if you ever put down a greenhouse of any kind, I mean, it's not to grow in, meaning if you're not planting the ground, obviously, I would highly recommend you consider putting weed barrier down first and save yourself a world of aggravation on just having to fight weeds and stuff at your feet. So, well, there you have it, folks. That's my two little greenhouse setup, my little plant sale setup. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. I would love to hear from you and answer any questions you have. And if you need any kind of advice or have advice for me, please feel free. I don't claim to know it all, so if you have some good advice, I'm glad to hear it. If there is any specific question on what I've done with the greenhouse setup, those tables, or anything like that, feel free to ask that too. I'll try to share some of the info in the description about where I got it, the greenhouses, that is. But a lot of the other things like the trays, the pots, various things that I have around here, including those tabletops, I mentioned I got it from Greenhouse Megastore. So if you have a large garden or a small farm or even a big farm, I guess, that's one company that I found that seems to have pretty reasonable prices, pretty reasonable on the free shipping, and get it to you pretty quickly. Those things really begin to add up and matter when you're doing things on a larger scale. So anyway, I really appreciate you watching this video. Stay tuned. In another, like I said, in about another week or so, I'll probably be doing a complete farm update. And I think you'll be pretty surprised if you've watched any of my previous videos where we were and where we're going to be, or where we are, I guess I should say. That, and I owe you a video on my chickens. Unfortunately, I have already moved my laying hens into their coop. I did the coop build out. You'll see some of that in an upcoming video. Unfortunately, I lost some of my footage, so there's that. Life keeps moving on. So again, I'm just so thankful for y'all watching this video. If this video was interesting to you, please consider giving us a like and subscribing to our channel. Hit that bell notification to get notified of future videos. And yeah, I'm just so blessed and humbled by you taking a few minutes of your time to watch this video. So thank you so much. Take care. God bless you. Until we see you next time, have an amazing day in the Lord.